Welcome to the Bullring, presented by Turn 1 Performance Steering. I'm Jim Tretow. On this episode, we're talking to drivers who won on Bullrings in Ohio and Alabama, Kyle Crump and Bubba Pollard. We're also welcoming a new sponsor of the Bullring, Turn 1 Performance Steering. Let's find out more about that great product right now. Let's get to it. And we're now joined by our new presenting sponsor of the Bullring, Jeffrey Roethlisberger Jr. with Turn 1 Performance Steering. Jeffrey, it's great to have you here on the Bullring. Great to have your support, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about your product. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, appreciate it.
When it comes to Turn 1 Performance Steering, there obviously has to be something that you strive to be better at, right? So these guys, these gals that are working with you in the shop, it's a bunch of racers getting after this, and now the short track program is blowing up. Tell us about the origins of Turn 1 and how it's coming to short track racing here in 2025.
So Turn 1 started doing NASCAR work in 1996, kind of as a contract with Hendrick Motorsports. My dad worked at Saginaw Steering Gear to help. He was working on the C5 Corvette platform at the time, and Rex Stump, the chassis engineer for the C5, left and went to Hendrick Motorsports. Rex created the T-Rex car with Ray Evernham, and they were having all kinds of steering issues. So Rex called my dad and asked for help, and it just kind of snowballed into what we've got today. So we've been dealing with NASCAR stuff primarily. That's all we did up until about 2005, 2006, and then we started branching out into other markets, a lot of LS stuff. We worked with the ASA back when they ran a crate motor. We supplied all the power steering pumps for that. We've done, since then we've been doing a lot of TA2 stuff, drifting, road course work, autocross, high performance type vehicles, and the late model short track market was just something that we've been wanting to get into for a very long time, but we didn't want to just be a copycat. We wanted to do something different that solved a problem, and what we've got today is, we feel does that.
So when it comes to this opportunity you have, I'd like to know more about the testing that's gone into this and who's all involved, and the racers in the shop saying, this will work. We're going to try this on a race car. We're going to make sure there's an A to B type of a testing program. How often has that taken place already?
We've had it in quite a few cars, in prototype form and in pre-production form over the last year. We've been working with Hettinger Racing, Anthony Campi Racing, both who have had great success in the pro late model and super late model world. And I've known Chris for a long time, so he gave us, that opportunity to test it with him. And Anthony Campi came on board to test with us as well, and had great results. And the unit seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing, by all accounts. So we've had many chassis builders hop on board, Hamke, Fury, Left-Hander, and a few others to help support the product and bring it to the market.
What makes your product different, Junior, when it comes to why these guys are gravitating? They want to test it out because they may see a little bit of an advantage. What do you have that's really clicking for them when they test old units to what you now are rolling out at Turn 1?
Yeah, so our late model rack is about 2 pounds lighter than what's available on the market now. So you get some weight savings. We've added some features, lower profile housing to add, engine clearance. We've added we modified the mounting points a little bit to help give the rack some more rigidity, so there's not as much deflection. And then the problems that we were seeing with some of the common manufacturers that are out there were binding and drag throughout the system. So we wanted to make sure that we solve that problem. A lot of that comes from the racks being more of a manual rack with an auxiliary cylinder attached to them. We've integrated the cylinders into the housing. We've actually went with a dual cylinder setup to apply load equally to the rack shaft, and on the same center line as the rack shaft. So everything's moving in parallel on the same center line. So it provides a smoother action, which gives the driver better feedback, more consistent feedback, instead of having binding and drag within the system that can contribute to false feedback.
I had a chance to talk to ASA Midwest Tour champion Dan Fredrickson, whose son Ty Fredrickson is racing this year in the ASA Stars National Tour. We had a chance to talk about your unit, actually, of all places, at the PRI show, when he said, "Hey Jim, check this out. This is the greatest thing because it's lower, it's lighter, and I can do a lot of things with it. This is a product I need to try in my car." So as he gets his young 16-year-old son up to speed, they're using your product as well. What's been the feedback with Dan, with all the laps he's put on, with teaching his young son to go for that Rookie of the Year in the ASA Stars Tour this year?
We've had nothing but positive feedback from Dan. We really appreciate his support and everything he's done for us, from talking to you at the PRI show, getting us hooked up with left-hander, helping us, he pushing that product before it was, before we actually had our foot in the door there. So that help was, very, at the cornerstone of what we've got going today. And Ty is using our rack and pinion in his car. And I haven't heard anything bad yet, so.
The great thing about that is you've got a really good idea of what you want. And you have Anthony Campi, who, by the way, won the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour Championship as a team owner last year, and has young Carson Brown this year, who has found success with your equipment in a Pro Late model. He's the race champion, the series champion, at Five Flag Speedway. So that's all coming to form here as you guys do this. And I'm guessing you're not done working on what may come next for Turn 1.
No, we're working on, we're always looking to improve our product, always trying to make it better. We've got a bunch of different iterations that we're coming out with, different options, different, whether it be, integral servo setup, different clevis connections, just different things to try and make it as best as we can.
I'll wrap up this idea with this thought with just how it is where you guys are a bunch of racers helping other racers. You're a racer yourself, right? With a bunch of guys that you work with.
I'm really the only one who has track experience here, circle track wise. Those days have come and gone, but I like to think I know what guys are searching for, what they're looking for, what they're yearning for out of their steering system, from just being involved in the sport, for growing up with it, with my dad working on stuff in the garage. He's the brains behind everything here that we do, and really focuses on the quality and focuses on giving everybody the best product they can get and the best precision that they can get out of the steering system, because we're not searching for hundreds anymore. We're searching for tenths, or well, actually the other way around. But the field is so close. Any kind of advantage, can really trip that stopwatch. So
big time. Where can we find out more about Turn 1 Performance Steering, Junior?
You can either give us a call, or you can find us on the website, turn1steering.com, TURNONE steering.com, or give us a call.
Thanks for being part of the show. We appreciate your support of the Bullring. The Bullring presented by Turn 1 Performance Steering. Now you know the motive behind it. We've got these guys on board. We're excited to bring their product forward and showcase it here throughout the year in 2025. And it's going to be great to have you guys along. Appreciate your support. Thanks for your time tonight.
No, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Now let's take a look at the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour schedule. Next up, 2 races in 3 nights. Thursday night, May 22nd, the Ross & Whitmer 255 at Hickory Motor Speedway, followed by the trip to Newport, Tennessee for the first time in the series, for the Newport 300 on Saturday, May 24th. You can catch all the ASA Stars National Tour races live or on demand on Track TV. We'll be right back with more of the Bullring, presented by Turn 1 Performance Steering, in a moment.
We're the leader in race fuels. We've been doing this since in the 60s. We use our distillation tower, which is unique. No other race fuel companies do that in the world. We also test every single batch that goes out the door on over 15 different parameters that ensure the tune-up will be identical.
That consistency in the marketplace that makes us a premium brand.
Make the same stuff every time. We're pretty darn close to perfect.
Looking to start a new career path in motorsports or searching for something new in your racing journey? Racer Jobs is your destination for providing the most current job openings from top racing teams, manufacturers, sanctioning bodies, and suppliers. Whether you're a budding race engineer, a seasoned mechanic, or a marketing ace, we consistently refresh our listings with new roles that could meet your ambitions. Looking for a great candidate as an employer? Then tap into our Racer Jobs audience and database to find that perfect candidate. Go to racerjobs.com today.
Welcome back to the Bullring, a short track podcast that covers all things short track racing here on Track TV and Racing America. Recently, the JEGS CRA All-Stars Tour got a chance to race at Toledo Speedway in their season opener. It came down to the defending series champion and a driver who's won before in the series, looking for another victory for the first time at Toledo Speedway. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Head bumper to bumper, door to door through 3 and 4 as we light the fuse with the 2025 JEGS CRA All-Stars Tour points paying season.
Pincinel hanging tough on the high side. Crump picking up that race lead as they head down the backstretch. Pincinel tucks in behind him. Little bit of bumper tag off of turn number 4.
And Kyle Crump will lead lap 1 quickly, single file to the inside part of the racetrack. Whoa, man, oh man, the 71 road just gave a shot to Billy Van Meter, and they're toe-to-toe to turn 3. Remember, these two finished 1-2 last year. Pincinel finishing second in the points. Rowe taking the title, and man, that Chevrolet is on the back bumper of the 14 and looking to maybe make some muscle work. Small tap there off 2, eyeballing it to turn 3.
I don't know if Chase Pincinel in that 14 machine wants to use that much race car this early. This time going down into turn 1 leaves Rowe room. Rowe will work by Pincinel for that second spot as they head down the backstretch.
And 31 on the inside with the 71 to the right wing puts us back to the restart zone. Back underway in the Hemmelgarn Super Fitness 100 at Toledo. What a start by Blake Rowe. He hits the Jets on the outside. Race leader down the backstretch.
Chase Pincinel in the 14 fighting back to the inside of Albert Francis as they head down the main straightaway.
And just like that, new leader working lap 78, Blake Rowe. Crump goes to second. Albert Francis had third, but he's still going to have to fight for it. Pincinel on the inside, paints the yellow line. Francis washes wide up the 11 degrees of banking and will reside now in the 4th position. Between the top 2, you're Kyle Crump. You can take full advantage of this race once again. Beautiful move through 3 and 4. He charges to the inside.
Yeah, Blake Rowe gives him a little bit of room.
It's going to be tight to 3 and 4. Blake Rowe 71, Crump 131. It was Crump at the line, but Rowe's going to fight back up to 13 degrees of banking.
I think Blake Rowe on the 71 sees that traffic coming up, is going to try, if he can hang there, to be able to try and pinch Kyle Crump behind that lap traffic, but I don't think it's going to happen as Crump pulls and noses out ahead of Rowe as they head off of turn number 2. Dylan Stovall's found him a nice spot to run in. He's running in that 7th spot. If and when the caution comes out, he's in good position.
And trouble in 1 and 2. Will Sahutsky goes around, parks it up the bankment. To the right goes Michael Simcoe, as well as Jeff Versick. And the caution will wave for the second time. We're back green from Toledo. Crump can clear for now. Blake Rowe. Can he get to the back bumper at 3 and 4? Yes, he can.
Austin Hull, he clears Dylan Stovall. Stovall gets down to the 24. He moves up a spot from that restart. He restarted 7th. Stovall now into that 6th spot.
And look at Blake Rowe, muscles his way to the race lead. Francis gets sideways off 4. He'll drop back to 3rd, gets company from Pinsino, and Kyle Crump will have to reel back in the TK71.
Chase Pinsino taking a peek inside Albert Francis as they roll into turn number 3. Pinsino gets a little bit loose.
It was one of those games, I'll get under you, then I'll get under you, and I'll get under you. From the driver sitting 4th, 5th, and 6th, Stovall wants a shot. He's going to have to wait as Hull back battling with Pinsino again. And how about Chris Shannon? Doing great things, battle for the lead. Kyle Crump under Blake Rowe down into 1 and 2. Contact once, twice, sideways. And Rowe can just hold on for a moment. How did he keep that 1-3-1 behind him?
I don't know. I don't know how he did. I think Kyle Crump got a little bit of loose off of turn number 2 and couldn't get the bite he needed down the back straight. That probably helping Blake Rowe. But surprise, Jonathan, this battle is not over.
And Rowe did not complete turn 4. He shortcut it to try to squeeze into the 1-3-1 of Kyle Crump. Rowe is able to hold on for now. 25 laps to go. And that 71 just dangerous. Look at that left rear sticking out.
This brings up memories of a few years ago. These two batting for a Glass City 200 win right here at Toledo Speedway. Blake Rowe coming out on the positive end that time. I don't know how that's going to work out, but they're running side by side right now off of turn number 2.
No Hoosier tire lettering left on the right side of the Kyle Crump machine. And Blake Rowe heavily on the defensive. They're just taking the air off both machines. 1 second you see Rowe sideways. 1 second you see Crump sideways.
I think Kyle Crump's car is a little looser on the bottom.
Trouble front straightaway. With 22 laps to go, the caution will wave. I believe that is the 20 machine just at the finish of Jeff Versick. One on the outside, lead us back to green.
Well, Kyle Crump, that's a second restart. He didn't get a great restart. Albert Francis works by Crump. Now Crump's going to have to go to work on Francis so he can get back to Blake Rowe. Caution is back out.
And I don't think race control liked that restart, so they're going to go ahead and try it again. It looked a little iffy, no doubt about it. The goal is you got to fire in that box. If you look down, and we can confirm second restart violation for Blake Rowe. He goes to the tail, puts Albert Francis, we mentioned him as a dark horse, just in around halfway of this race on the outside of Kyle Crump. Outside has never won a race with the JEGS Series All-Stars Tour. 23 laps to go in the Hemmelgarn Super Fitness 100. Francis trying to stick with them. Here comes Austin Hull in 20 to the bottom.
Austin Hull working the inside of Albert Francis. Dylan Stovall now works to the inside of Jeremy Miller. Moves Stovall up into that 4th spot.
And Hull's trying to hold on, but Francis is right to the inside, gets to the quarter panel. Ooh, washes up the track once, maybe twice. Hold on, Austin Hull. 2 in a row on the points-paying side. That's a feat many can't do. 3 in a row separates the rest as Kyle Crump will come off turn 4, victorious in the Hemmelgarn Super Fitness 100 at Toledo.
And we're now joined by the winner at Toledo in the JEGS CRA All-Stars race. It's Kyle Crump time. It seems like it's often Kyle Crump time when you get a chance to race with this series. Congrats on the big win at Toledo Speedway, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me on the Bullring.
When it comes to the opportunities, they don't come all the time, but you have now won 3 of the last races you've raced with the series. What was different about Toledo Speedway, getting that lead with taking that lead away from Blake Rowe late in the going there?
Yeah, Toledo's close to my heart. I've never been able to get a win there, and then my rides were falling away from me. I didn't have as many rides last season and whatnot, so didn't get a chance to race as much. But to be able to open the year up back with Stan and Judy Rosen in the 131 machine, was able to take the lead away from Blake, with 20 or so laps to go, and then was finally able to check Toledo off my list. So it felt really good.
When it comes to this series, I mean, the competition's stiff. Blake won the championship last year, and you guys seem to somehow intertwine, whether it be with Tommy K-Max ride or with Van Dorn chassis. I mean, there's a lot you guys get to race with each other. Have you ever been teammates when it comes to racing at this level?
Never teammates. He was, we actually went to college together and, were friends before I even got into the super late model scene or pro late model scene. So he's been my crew guy. He's been my spotter before, but, we've never really battled on track. We've raced with each other, but this was the first time we really had a door to door battle. So that was really fun, just trying to take it all in. And, I wish we would have been able to battle it out to the finish, but obviously some stuff happened there. But, so other than that, it was honestly a really fun weekend.
I see you at the track a lot of the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars races. You work with Billy Van Meter and the Van Dorn brothers. How does that help you stay in tune when you get the chance to get behind the wheel on occasion?
So spotting for Billy, I never really watched super races. I've watched recaps, obviously, from Racing America or Track TV and whatnot, but watching them in person from the spotter stand really helped me as a driver. I felt like I was able to see things that, let's say a Bubba Pollard or a Casey Roderick, Stephen Nasse, what the top tier guys do in order to make speed, because your race car is never always going to be perfect. And they always seem to be up front battling for wins. So really paying attention up on the spotter stand, seeing what all the good guys are doing, and kind of crafted my racing around that. So that way, when I do get these shots, I can make the most of them. And
I imagine these longer races, I know that the race at Toledo Speedway, you pretty much had what you had at the start of the race, right? No pit stops, 100 laps, let's go. And there's a lot of different things to keep processing through and saving, right? You want to be so fast, but you got to save. How does that come so natural to you, Kyle?
Yeah, it kind of just molds into my driving style. I guess I've always been told I'm a smooth driver, so it kind of just goes with saving tires. It's kind of natural instinct for me. But there at Toledo, or new at the JEGS Tour this year, is we're running on ST1s and now ST3s on the right, so they're a little bit harder right side tires. So I didn't personally feel tire wear at Toledo, but it was more of a heat thing. Let's say if you slip the right rear on the corner exit for, let's say, 2 corners in a row, then it's all of a sudden you'd be loose for about a lap or so until you got it cooled back down. But I would say tire wear wasn't at a big play, but more of just heating them up.
And now you've got all that feedback because that's the same tire that Billy Van Meter's racing when he goes racing the ASA Stars National Tour. Your input there would also lead, I would hope, to more opportunities. Getting trophies gets headlines. What's on the docket for Kyle Crump, the driver, coming soon?
So for this season, running a lot of the Outlaw series up north. It's the Reveal the Hammer series, and then Owasso Speedway with all the improvements they've been doing there. They have a 5-race series for the Outlaw cars, and they're throwing huge money around. There's a $25,000 to win race on a Wednesday, and then multiple 15Ks to win. So really focusing in on those, just kind of hunting for money, because I'm kind of a hired driver, as you would say, so I don't really get to pick and choose where I go. So teams just want to go for the big purses. So I'll be sticking to those big Outlaw purses and then hopping in JEGS Tour races in between when it fits in the schedule.
And I would think the opportunity will actually, just this week it was announced that Track TV and Racing America will actually be showing all the Owasso races. So you get a chance to see Kyle Crump in action at those Outlaw races. And if you've ever seen a Reveal the Hammer Outlaw Super Late Model race, my goodness, you guys fly around that track. What's the speed difference for the fan that has not seen, they may have seen a Super Late or a Pro Late Model, but the speeds are incredibly different when it comes to the full-blown Outlaw Late Models in Michigan.
Yeah, outlaw late models in Michigan are a different breed. 900 horsepower, tons of downforce, a little bit different rear suspension package, so they handle really good. You are hauling the mail. It is a very big difference. It's almost, I don't want to say it's this big of a difference, but it almost feels like a street stock to a super late model, and then it's a super late model to an outlaw. Like it's a whole different world, but very fun to drive, and they actually race good, so you can race side by side or make passes. So it's not like you're stuck in line going so fast you can't hang on to them. So actually good racing, and excited for Trek TV to come on. I love what they do for the ASA tour, so really excited to see what they can do with the Outlaw series.
And I'm thinking it's going to be great for you to get that difference when you're focused on one thing, get a chance to race with the Rosen team, and those speed differences are going to be relative to you. Not many guys can make that adjustment, or gals, so quickly. I just got to wonder, I mean, is that something you are doing all the time? Are you working in racing all the time? Or do you have a 9 to 5 and get a chance when the phone rings to go racing?
Yeah, I'm full blown 9 to 5. I'm an engineer over at Bosch. I do calibration work. So if you know, familiar with like an ABS system in your car or stability control, pretty much calibrate those, make sure everything works correctly. So that way, you know, if you have an incident on the road, the car's going to save you.
And I imagine when you're driving or when you're spotting or when you're at the racetrack, your brain never shuts off. You guys engineers are one of a kind, I think, one of a breed of racers. And one that comes to mind is Alan Kowicki, a driver I got to follow through as he won the NASCAR championship, the first mechanical engineer degree driver to do just that. How much does that help you in your racing and talking to, boy, even the shock specialists that are seemingly some of the bigger gains when you get to performance in the margins?
Engineering degree is a big help. I never would have thought when I was in high school that I was going to be an engineer. It was more of racing driven to be an engineer because I wanted to know how to go faster, how to make my own personal car at the time go faster. And you know, in order to do that, you got to understand physics. You got to understand a lot of the background knowledge. So it kind of pointed me in that direction to get a mechanical engineering degree. And then from that point on, it's, you know, you learn so much that it helps correlate a lot with people who work on race cars and just understanding the racing scene as a whole.
We've got a couple of weeks now between the first Owasso race, May 17th. We'll see you on Track TV and on Racing America. What's your schedule when it comes to at the track between now and then, Kyle?
Yeah, when I'm not racing, you'll see me at the ASA events with Billy up in the spotter stand, trying to help him, you know, get that first elusive win or just string together a couple good finishes. But yeah, we'll see. The schedule's always changing. You never know.
Hey, it's great to see you on the Bullring. I hope to have you back. And I think there's an open invitation. If you win another one, we'll see you here on the Bullring. How's that sound?
Yeah, my pleasure, Jim. I hope to see you a lot this summer then.
Kyle Crump, the winner at Toledo Speedway, the 100-lapper to start the season for the JEGS here All-Stars Tour. Thanks a lot for joining us on the Bullring, Kyle.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more of the Bullring presented by Turn 1 Performance Steering in a moment.
Calling all race fans. We have launched a new travel site where the race fans can enjoy free savings and upgrades on all of their travel needs. RacerTravel.com is free to join and unlocks unpublished bookings and rates for our racing community. Up to 50% off on more than 1 million rooms across the U.S. and Canada with unpublished discounts on hotel bookings. Unlock a hidden selection of hotels and rates that cater to your travel preferences. Whether you're heading out to the track as a competitor, fan, or anything in between, use Racer Travel for all your race, business, and vacation travel needs.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it. One roof at a time.
Welcome back to the Bullring. I'm Jim Tretow. It's time to go around the horn on the Bullring with some racing highlights and some recent winners recognized from across the country. Let's start in Pennsylvania with the Race of Champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen for the roar out of turn 4. It's the Race of Champions Modified Series Bunny Hop 75 going green at Mahoning Valley. And DeFebo going right after Paulie Hartwig, trying to stick a nose under the Jersey Kid here on lap number 1. They come to the stripe. They make contact. Headed for turn 1. DeFebo, Hartwig side by side. They roll it off the corner. Give the nod to Brian DeFebo, the Sophie's Tiki Lounge number 53. Goes across that sewer grate in turn 2, trying to run underneath Rod Snyder. Mustache Jack picked up the heat win, but started in the number 9 spot tonight. Having to pass a few cars. He's trying to get underneath Ronnie Silk now. Silk trying to make that 16 car as wide as possible, but Ely's there. Meanwhile, Snyder and Barney bounce off each other behind Ely and Silk. Ely now up to 3rd, Silk 4th, Barney, Snyder, Paul is. Hartwig has been shuffled back to about 7th place to the Sunoco Racefields Go Fast point, and taking the Blueprint Engines green flag once again. Back to action. Hirschman to the outside of DeFebo, and Jack Ely is right there too. DeFebo runs up a lane to force Hirschman up almost into the 3rd groove here at Mahoning Valley Speedway, but that leaves the bottom open for Ely. But Jack can't get there to stick a nose underneath the 53 DeFebo just yet. But DeFebo runs off the bottom, but Hirschman leads that lap, completing lap 29 as your race leader. DeFebo now relinquishes the lead. Ely's going to tuck underneath DeFebo to steal the 2nd spot as Hirschman leads with 30 completes. Ely now looking to slide by DeFebo for the number 2 spot, and he's got it. So it's Hirschman, Ely, DeFebo. Snyder is 4th, and then it's contact between Jaden Brown and Blake Barney, and Jaden Brown goes around in turns 1 and 2, and trouble behind them. Is that Ronnie Silk? I believe that's Silk and one other car, Koshnosh, tangling to avoid the Brown 03. Team started on the outside pole tonight. Shuffled back a few spots, but now trying to get back on the podium as we are coming around to complete lap number 36. We got trouble, though. Roger Koss up and over the left front of Rod Snyder. James Blewett and Jacob Kerstetter also tangling here on the front straightaway. They're continue to go at it for that top spot. Blake Barney sitting in the catbird seat in 3rd. Then it's Stroll and Beers 4th and 5th, and they're almost 3 wide for 6th with DeFebo, Shear, Paulus, and Ronnie Silk. Now Ely to the inside in turn 3. He's going to bounce off the left rear of Hirschman. Ely goes by, Hirschman spins, and everybody's going to have to use their grinders here in turn 4 to avoid Hirschman. Caution is out with 54 to go. Here we go, back to the Blueprint Engines green flag as we hit the Sunoco Racefields Go Fast point, and Lou Stroll takes off Barney. He's got issues potentially. He's slowing up a bit. Austin Beers underneath him, and it's going to be mayhem behind Barney as he spun the tires or something did not get going. Lou Stroll has inherited the lead. Beers to 2nd, then Barney, DeFebo, Shear, Silk, and Brown, with Blake Barney trying to get back up there. Here's Beers now underneath Stroll. They bounce off each other. Caution is out on the speedway. Caution is out for Jack Ely. As there was contact between Ely and Hirschman. Stroll and Beers. And Stroll get the elbows up as we go back to green with the Blueprint Engines green flag. He forces Beers out wide as Stroll resumes command of the field. Barney, Shear, then Silk and DeFebo as Darren Shear to the outside having a heck of a night. Trying to get by Barney for 3rd now. Silk and DeFebo almost bounce off each other behind them. Beers running out of time. He'll go to the high side in turn 3. Can't get even with Stroll just yet. 4 to go. Beers is there. Stroll bottoms out in turn 2. Trouble. Koshnosh is spun. Caution is out with 4 to go. Austin Koshnosh spinning. Jacob Kerstetter spinning to avoid. Infield. Lou Stroll looking for his first career Race of Champions Series win. Austin Beers. Blake Barney behind them. Going back to green. Good restart for Lou Stroll. Matt Hirschman going to try and pick up a few more positions. He's to the outside of Hartwig and Jaden Brown. 3 to go. Here's Beers to the inside of Stroll into turn 1. They get wheel to wheel. Beers on the inside. Austin hammer down, takes the lead. Stroll's going to come back with the chrome horn as we got the parallel flags. 2 to go. Beers out in front of Lou Stroll. Barney 3rd, Silk 4th, Sheeran 5th. They're headed for the white flag. Beers trying to stay off that front bumper of Lou Stroll. Stroll slides that car down the front straightaway. On to turn number 2. Barney's going to go after Stroll. But from worst to first, Austin Beers wins the bunny hop 75. Stroll, Barney, Silk, and Sheer round out your top 5 finishers.
Some exciting races on the way in the ASA Midwest Tour races at Madison International Speedway and the Joe Shear Classic on Sunday afternoon, May 4th. Mark Martin is the Grand Marshal. He's signing autographs with the fans there as well. You can catch all the action here on Track TV. And also keep in mind the ASA Stars next race at Hickory Motor Speedway, North Carolina. The Ross & Whitmer 255 coming your way on Thursday night, May 22nd. More to come on the Bullring. When we come back, we're talking to Bubba Pollard, a big winner in the ASA Southern Super Series at Mobile.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it, one roof at a time.
Five-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Welcome back to the Bullring presented by Turn 1 Performance Steering. The ASA Southern Super Series already has 5 races in on the season. The most recent race was held at Mobile International, and our race winner, Bubba Pollard, traveled there and won for the 27th time at that oval. Let's check out the highlights.
Let's see how this 50 miles, 100 laps turns out. Cole Butcher hammer down. Here we go.
Green flag is out for the Mobile Sports Authority 100. They all set sail into one. Cole Butcher with the lead. Look at 3 wide already. Carson Brown thought about it, got back in line. Spencer Davis up back to second.
These guys have no patience. It's go time from the first green flag. Cole Butcher leads at the end of the first lap. Oh, Spencer Davis wants to take it away from him.
What a beautiful move by Spencer Davis across the straight. Jumped to the inside, grabs the lead down the back straightaway. What's going on to Cole Butcher, Bill? He's off the pace a little.
He got on the high side and lost 2, 3 spots. May lose a 4th spot to Nazi. That lead car, Spencer Davis, was the fast qualifier, but there's last night's fast qualifier. 54. Matt Craig leads. The 81 Carson Brown is going to have something to do with that. End of lap number 3. And Carson Brown, the champion at Five Flag Speedway in the Pro Late Model Division last year. 2-time New Smyrna World Series winner, the new leader on lap 5.
Carson Brown snags that lead, Bill. Powers his way around the 54 of Matt Craig. And look, Dusty Smith up to 3rd right behind him.
1.5 second lead over Matt Craig and Jake Finch. Oh, Jake Finch could be the fastest car on the racetrack. Look at this. He's going to get Matt Craig on the inside bound back straight away, and Matt Craig will be 3rd, maybe 4th. Jake Finch gets to the 3rd turn first. He's in 2nd now.
Dustin Smith completes the pass on Matt Craig as well, following through. Matt Craig looks for a crossover down the front straightaway. Not able to get there. Dustin Smith will hold on to third.
Here. Hammer down, fourth turn. Can Carson Brown continue that big lead? We'll find out right now.
Green flag off into turn 1 goes Carson Brown. Jake Finch to the outside. Dustin Smith with his nose in, looking for the lead. Three wide.
Dustin Smith goes for the lead. He goes for it all. Inside of Carson Brown. Jake Finch on his back bumper. New leader, fourth turn. How about that? Dustin Smith takes over.
Dustin Smith now with about a half a car length over Carson Brown. Another car length back to Matt Craig. As you see, everybody gaggled up down into turn 3. John Bolin, Spencer Davis, Bubba Pollard, Massey, Gavin Bosch in position. John Bolin holds him off. Here he comes again out of turn 2. Oh, John Bolin slams the door across the nose of Bubba Pollard. Holds him off.
Meantime, in the third turn, Carson Brown has gotten by. He's gotten his lead back from Dustin Smith. Did it on the inside. Carson Brown was not fooling around. He wanted that lead back. He got it. Dustin Smith is going to try to get it back, but Carson's got 2 car lengths on him. And the 81 have taken Carson Brown.
We got Elliott Massey around in turn 2, Bill sideways.
With
the
yellow. Well, we saw everybody starting to slow down in the fourth turn, and then Dan Spence spied what happened in the second turn, and that's Elliott Massey. We're coming to green this time. Off of turn 4, Carson and Dustin. Down to the first turn, Dustin's going to hang it out on the outside. That's a long way to go. Carson Brown faster on the inside. Matt Craig wants to take advantage of Dustin Smith. Matt Craig on the inside looking for second spot.
Spencer Davis right there behind Matt Craig looking to follow suit to the inside of Colby Howard. Colby Howard will grab that position going down into turn 1.
Oh, Dustin's fast on the outside. He drove right down in front of Matt Craig, so Matt Craig couldn't pass him on the inside. Way to go from 4th. Butcher's got a further way to go from 7th. Nobody has anything to do with Carson Brown. Smith is behind him by a half of a second.
Well, they're going to have Bubba Pollard to deal with. He just took third from Matt Craig, and he's looking for Dustin Smith out of turn 4 right on his back bumper.
Bubba's coming alive.
He was saving it all to the end. We knew a bunch of these drivers were doing it.
Looking to the inside of Dustin Smith. He put the left sides down in the grass. Third turn, Bubba inside. Dustin Smith closes the door.
Sticks the nose in there, Bill, in turns 3 and 4. Looking to muscle his way a little sideways.
Bubba said, I'm not having any of that. He inside of Dustin Smith. Here comes Bubba. Second spot for 26. Does Carson Brown have enough speed to stay in front of him? It's now 0.6 of a second. Lapping Elliott Massey down the back straightaway.
Contact, Bill. Spencer Davis gets in the back of John Nolan. The ground goes, or Bolin, John Bolin, as he is sideways off of turn 2.
Those two guys were having bumper tag for several laps. And finally, it ended with John Bolin going around in turn 2. Half miles to go, 15 laps. Hammer down on the super late models, green flag.
A great start by Carson Brown. Bubba Pollard right there with him. Dustin Smith looking to make a move as well.
Pretty good.
A little wiggle out of 2, falls back.
Pretty good start for Carson Brown. Bubba Pollard tried to stay with him on the outside, now goes in behind him and gets in a single file. Behind those two, side by side, Dustin Smith and Matt Craig. Cole Butcher is now 4th. It could be a big payday and a big weekend for Cole Butcher. Watch Bubba Pollard, third turn. The veteran inside of the youngster. Fourth turn, front straightaway.
Contact off of 4, Bill. A little bit of door banging between the two. But out of turn 2, Bubba Pollard to the lead.
Carson Brown had him by a radiator at the start-finish line, but there's Bubba. 2, maybe 3 car lengths. Here comes Matt Craig.
Matt Craig, Cole Butcher also looked to make it through out for a second, thought better of it, fell back behind the 54. Now he looks to make a pass on the 81 of Carson Brown, able to do it. Cole Butcher up to third.
We're getting down to the end, folks. If you got something left in your car, you got to use it now. Cole Butcher's going to try to use his. Inside of Matt Craig, turn 3. Cole Butcher's going to go to P2. 5 to go. Can Cole Butcher catch Bubba Pollard Can Bubba Pollard stay in front of Cole Butcher?
As you see on Racing America, Bill just said it, Cole Butcher takes away the second position. Now he's got to catch up to Bubba Pollard, who's a full second ahead of him, and he's coming to just 4 laps to get it done through turns 1 and 2. It's all clear sailing for now down the back straightaway. And into turns 3 and 4, Cole Butcher trying his hardest, but he's not going to be able to do it. Tonight, it is Bubba Pollard winning his 27th race in Mobile International Speedway and his 40th for the Southern Super Series. Altogether, Cole Butcher will come home second. Matt Craig finishes third.
Let's take one more look at the upcoming races you get to see here on Track TV and Racing America. We now welcome in the winningest driver in Southern Super Series history, Bubba Pollard. A big win at Mobile recently, and I think that's where the race season may come down to winning a championship again for you in the Southern Super Series. How did things play out for you as it seemed like you waited to the right time to make that winning pass at Mobile?
Yeah, Mobile can be tricky. You know, it's all about saving tires and being there at the end. And the car count wasn't as large as normal, as typical, but there were some really good race cars there. So, yeah, we were able to, you know, kind of save enough there at the beginning. And really, everyone kind of didn't know what to expect. We know the tires are really, they hold up good. They race well. But Mobile is so abrasive on tires. So you had to be smart, kind of play the strategy. A lot of those guys fell back. We kind of stayed mid-pack there. I didn't want to – I knew we were getting a caution at lap 50 possibly. So I kind of wanted to stay within track position, within reason to stay with those guys up front. And then I think it you know, Cole, he kind of got going a little later than we did, and it kind of hurt him. So we had a good car. We played it smart. Everything turned out you know, fairly on our side. So I thought it turned out good.
Yeah, big time. And I also, once again, Carson Brown, great qualifier, led a bunch of laps, and that young driver's learning that saving something for the end may be a difference maker for him. He's got a lot of speed. It's got to be kind of neat knowing you've had the challenge of racing with Anthony Campion and whatever driver he puts in their car, racing against other teams. Donnie Wilson always brings 2 or 3. Your opportunity to race against them, I know you're always gauging, where am I at? Where can I be? It's got to feel pretty good, though, that you're sitting second in points now after 5 races in the Southern Super Series alone, much less racing for wins here coming soon in the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour.
Yeah, we started off the season, I thought, really well. But kind of after the first 2 races there, we changed chassis manufacturers. And it just kind of, you know, we're revamping our team, really. We're kind of starting over. This new car is a good bit different than what we're accustomed to. And how you adjust it and things like that. So, yeah, to be 3 races in now and to have a good gauge of where we're at and where we need to be is good. I think we still got room for improvement always, but I think we're in a good place. I think we can be better. But, you know, those guys got good programs. They've been with Hamke race cars for quite some time, so they got a notebook. We have nothing to go by now. We're kind of starting over, and even though I've been to these racetracks for several times, it's all new. I'm on the same playing field as starting over a lot of these guys. So, yeah, it has been a challenge, but, you know, we've kind of progressed pretty quickly here, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and getting going and see where we end up.
Bubba, the big win at Mobile came one night after racing at Five Flag Speedway track, where you have more Blizzard Series wins than anyone else. But as the newness happens, was it a benefit to you guys in any way or every way, racing back-to-back nights in the Southern Super Series as it played out 5 flags one night, Mobile the next?
Oh, it's huge. I think it's a very good thing. It's a positive. You can take. I don't believe we ever win Mobile if we didn't struggle like we did at Pensacola at Five Flags. I led us down the wrong path there Friday night that you know wasn't good. We were way too aggressive on setup, and we kind of woke up Saturday morning. Hey, let's think about this, process it. You know, we were decent there toward the beginning of the year when we first started this deal, let's kind of go back and regroup a little bit. And we did that, and it paid off on Saturday. So I'm a big fan of the doubleheaders because it's just, man, when you get to racing there and you're always thinking, you're always trying to get better, what better way to do it than the next night, right? So you kind of get all those questions out of the way, and if you struggle both nights, you got to go to work. So there's definitely room for improvement, and I'm excited about where our program's at. We just got to keep it rolling.
The next couple races for the ASA Stars National Tour are also companion races, points races as well for the ASA Southern Super Series. That's a 2-day span. Thursday night, May 22nd at Hickory Motor Speedway for the Roethlisberger 255. And then we head to a new track for most of us, Newport, Tennessee on Saturday, May 24th. That's got a double bang, but also is it new for you as well to go to Newport, Tennessee for the first time as you're developing this new chassis development?
Well, it is. We have no notes from there. We have nothing to go by. So we're going to try to make it out there to test and just kind of gain as much information, data as we can to apply to that weekend. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Like I said again, of the two races. It works good for a lot of reasons. Travel expenses, things like that, and just getting your program better. The more you can race, with being kind of a one-car team, and a lot of these guys got 2 cars out there. It takes us 2 or 3 races to kind of catch up to where they can get in one race. So it is tough, but I'm proud of where we're at, and I'm excited for Hickory. It's a place we've been to before. It's got character, but it races well. And in Newport's new for all of us, so it'll be exciting. Hopefully we can move around pass, and then again, it's kind of like going into Mobile. We don't know what to expect. Dominion was new to all of us, but we kind of knew how it was going to race with the high grip racetrack. But I think Newport can be a wild card there of, do you save, do you ride, do you go, kind of how the race is going to play out, the strategy wise. So I'm excited to go to both of them, and we got Nashville next week, so looking forward to that. And so got a lot of racing coming up here in the month of May and June.
With all the other things you have going on with the family business, the Sonoy Raceway, the racetrack itself with the dirt racing, there's a lot going on with what you got going on. Are you bringing the girls with you at any of these trips? Or are they still in school till mid-June sometime?
Yeah, we're gonna get them away, but they're looking forward to the summer. We're gonna go, and they're gonna go with us a lot up into the Wisconsin area. Hopefully, we can hit some of those. I heard they got great amusement parks, water slides, things like that up that way. So we're hoping to stop in. The girls can have fun. So it's important that we have a family. My sister goes with me every weekend. So it's a family event for us.
I know because I live in Wisconsin. Wisconsin Dells is the water park capital of the world. They have great indoor and outdoor. They have Ferris wheels inside. They've got go-kart tracks inside. And then come June, when you're up here for the ASA Stars National Tour races at Madison and Slinger, you're going to have a chance to see some really cool water parks. And hope it's warm enough. If not, you still got a great day because you can stay inside with these huge water parks just a few miles down the road. Bubba Pollard, thanks for joining us, man. It's really cool to see you here. Looking forward to seeing you all summer long. And it's great to have you for the first time on the Bullring tonight. Hopefully many more occasions, because when you win, we got to have you back on. Is that okay?
I appreciate it. Anytime. Thank you.
Bubba Pollard joining us here tonight on the Bullring. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Big win at Mobile. He's now second in points in the Southern Super Series, and that series heads with the ASA Stars National Tour. That double weekend again, May 24th. It's a Thursday night for the Roethlisberger 255 at Hickory Motor Speedway, and Thursday will be followed by Saturday, May 24th, racing at Newport, Tennessee, the Newport 300. You'll catch that all here on Track TV. We want to thank you for joining us on this episode of the Bullring, presented by Turn 1 Performance Steering, our brand new sponsor. Thanks to Jeffrey Jr. as well for joining us on the program, and our special racing guests, Kyle Crump and Bubba Pollard. Until next time, I'm Jim Tretow. Hope to see you at a Bullring real soon. The Bullring is produced and hosted by Jim Tretow. Producer Kurt Schrader. Video editor Vincent Villarreal. Special thanks Bob Sargent and Marty Mello, Track Enterprises. Colin Smith with Racing America and Tony Stevens. The Bullring is an exclusive presentation produced by Track Enterprises in conjunction with Racing America.